Aloha, my name is James Wataru. I'm running for the office of UPW State Director. I understand how valuable your time is, so I want to thank you for giving me just a few minutes to share a little bit more about who I am and to share some of my priorities with you should I be elected. That way, you can make the most informed decision possible when you cast your ballot next month. If you're watching this video, then you've already received my flyer and seen my bio. I know it was a lot of information. That's why I wanted to make this video so I can explain a little bit more in depth about what my plans are and what my top priorities will be if I'm successful. Allow me to share just a little bit more about who I am. Since the age of 18, I have worked in a union job. I started out in the hotel industry in 1985 with Local 5, where I stayed for almost 5 years. In 1989, I joined the Plumbers and Fitters Local 675 union, where I was an apprentice, and I worked there for 10 years until I acquired my journeyman license. In the late 90s, construction got really slow and there was no work, so I decided to make the move to civil service. So in 1999, I was hired by the state of Hawaii, where I worked in the Harbors Division and then in DAGS and DOE, and I currently work with the Department of Accounting and General Services, Central Services Division, as a Plumber 1. And I've been a member of UPW for the last 21 years. On a more personal note, my wife Jean and I have been married for over 30 years, and we have 5 sons, 3 biological and 2 adopted. Over the last 20 years, we've also cared for over 20 medically complex infants through the state of Hawaii foster care system. I also serve on various boards and commissions in the community, like the Hawaii Food Bank, the Hawaii Blood Bank. So as you can see, I have a heart to serve. Now you may be asking yourself, why is this important for the state director? Because I believe in order to be a good and effective leader, you also have to be willing to serve. Serve your members, serve your family, and serve in the community. Because at the end of the day, all of these things go hand in hand. One of the most important things, one of my top priorities, if I'm successful and elected as state director, is to work hard with the staff and the board to restore the trust that was lost during this trusteeship. I know it won't be easy, and I know it won't happen overnight, but we're going to have to begin that healing process in order for us to move forward as an organization. And I'll do whatever it takes. Calling members, meeting with members, going to job sites, whatever it takes to do this and accomplish this, I'm all in. Because without trust, this will never work. Part of regaining this trust is to create a more open and transparent union, especially when it comes to our finances. That's why one of the first things I'll do is appoint an executive finance committee who will work closely with our CFO to review the union's finances on a monthly basis. Unlike in the past, where the union finances have gone months and months, sometimes 7 or 8 months, without being reviewed by the board. That's unacceptable. This committee will be made up of the state secretary treasurer and all the division treasurers, who will review the finances and then make monthly reports back to the membership, and also report to the state executive board at their regular meetings. Now, when it comes to state executive board meetings, those two will be more frequent. In the past, those were done at the discretion of the state director. He called them whenever he saw fit to have a meeting. If I'm elected, I will schedule state executive board meetings bi-monthly, starting in January, and every other month. The calendar will be set at the beginning of the year, and this will allow for more oversight and more protection of our members and their finances. I want to create an environment that encourages change and welcomes member input. I know that for a long time, members would tell me that they didn't feel like their voices were being heard, and that's unacceptable. We're here to serve the members, and they should be heard. Now, that doesn't mean we're always going to agree, and we're always going to come to a conclusion or a resolution, But I promise you that if you have concerns, they will be heard, and when warranted, they will be acted upon. My door will always be open to you as members. I know a lot of people say that, but I really mean that. Over the last 12 years, as I served as your state president, I've prided myself on always getting back to the members. Every phone call, every email, every text, I challenge you to find one member who said that I didn't respond to them, because that was what I committed to do, and I'll continue to commit to that. If you call me, I will respond and I will reply. I want to establish ongoing training for our stewards, our members, and our board members, so that you guys will be more confident in your abilities when you're representing your members at the workplace or wherever. These will cover a variety of topics: contracts, safety, negotiations, the grievance procedure. Whatever you guys want, we'll try to get and accomplish. Because education is power, and an educated member is a great member. And I really feel that's what this union has lacked in the past. We've held back our members from learning. And when a member is educated, it makes the job of our agents easier. So education will be another one of my top priorities moving forward. Another one of my priorities is to fund and begin to execute our UPW Scholarship Fund. This has been in place now for over 5 years, and we have yet to distribute 1 cent to a member. The scholarship fund is not just for our members' kids, but also for our members who want to continue their education. How we do that? Well, that will be a decision we'll have to discuss. How do we fundraise? How do we implement? What is the procedure? But the scholarship fund has been sitting dormant for way too long, and we need to start executing it and getting this money into the members' hands and to their kids who want to further their education. Because as I said earlier, education is power. The job of state director is so much more than just grievances and arbitrations. It's about running an organization, a multi-million-dollar organization. Our union is very lucky that we own all of our properties on every island. Those properties need to be maintained, and sadly they haven't been. They have been ignored for far too long. In fact, on the island of Kauai, as we speak, our UPW building, which we own, is shut down, and we're renting space outside because the building is unsafe. Under my leadership, we would work hard to fix these problems and make sure that these buildings, which are some of our biggest assets, are not ignored. They need to be maintained and they need to be fixed so that our members have a safe place to go. Also, as state director, it's not just about, like I said, contract stuff. It's about managing people, staff. You have to have somebody who has a heart that is compassionate when it needs to be, but also firm when it needs to be. There has to be a really good balance. Things cannot always be one way. A good leader never looks at my way. It can't always be one way. You have to be open to correction, input, advice. I'm always somebody who says, if I'm the smartest guy in the room, I'm probably in the wrong room. I never stop learning. The more I know, the more I learn, the better I can be, the better leader I can be. This election is historical in many ways, as it's the first time it's going to be done by statewide vote. It's also the first time that a rank and file member will assume the seat of state director. And I think that that's critical, because for the first time, the person who will be fighting for you and speaking for you knows exactly where you're coming from, because we've been there, and I've been there for the last 21 years fighting for our membership. So in closing, I just want to say, please take the time to vote. It's the only way that you can let your voice be heard. I humbly ask that you consider voting for me to be your next UPW State Director. Thank you for taking the time to watch this. I truly appreciate it. God bless you, and God bless your families. Aloha.